Well,
there's a lot more.
the Housing Authority, for all the candidates that are running, they did a Housing 101 so that we would have an understanding. And they had people from HUD here. They had a woman who's now up in the Dallas Housing Authority who was with HUD for 15 years. And a lot of questions were asked, and she answered them very clearly, very well defined, and that were what is HUD's guidelines. And then they're saying, oh no, she wasn't right. So just to be, if we could get some straight answers to know what's going on, to say, you know, originally there was 569 people wanted to move back here. Well, a lot of those people have already made their homes elsewhere. I think anyone who wants to live here, who lived here before, that's great. They should be afforded somewhere to live. We have a number of seniors, we have disabled people. We should be providing housing for them. But to not get answers, to advertise, to bring housing people in here, a barrier island that has to be evacuated, doesn't make sense. To say you're rebuilding Magnolia as mixed housing when we know that will be a failed project, because we have just in the last month and a half, 600 tax credit related apartments came back online and they're vacant. We have 7,000 houses that need to be rehabbed, that are vacant. So why are we creating more units when we have ample housing that we can refurbish and put people into place?
So you're opposed to this plan because you feel, correct me if I'm wrong, I just want to make sure that I understand, because you feel like refurbishing the housing that's already in existence, or basically there are places these people could live.
There are apartments, there are houses, there are people who have made their homes in Texas City or elsewhere. I think people should be given the opportunity to live the best life that they can live.
And can I just get the spelling of your first and last name?
Yes, it's Marie, M-A-R-I-E, Robb, R-O-B-B.
And you're running for?
District 6 City Council.
Did you tell them about the tax credits and the Goldman Sachs?
No, you might want to.
Yeah, we're happy to speak with anyone.
But you should also tell about the surplus, how Magnolia could.
Oh, yeah. Well, the project as it's proposed is using a developer out of St. Louis, Barron and Salazar, and in conjunction with Goldman Sachs. And there's simply not a need for us to have a huge consulting project like this. They're estimating the cost of each of the units would be $230,000 for an apartment. And that's a high-end apartment complex that they're building, and they hope to do it with tax credits and Goldman Sachs, and that's just not, it's just a waste of your tax dollar and my tax dollar.
I want to talk about what we were discussing before, when, because this can come across as like a racial divide, right, or a rich people versus people who can't afford this. But you're saying that's not the case.
It's not the case. The people who are going to make money off of this are the people who can afford tax credits and working with Goldman Sachs. And I don't, that's a very limited number of people. I mean, we have bailed Goldman Sachs out before. We don't need to be helping them along right now. And I apologize to, are you a Goldman Sachs person? But it's,
no.
If they want to develop it, then do it on the open market. We don't need this done with tax credits. If it's such a good idea to build units that cost over $200,000 a unit, then I bet you there are a lot of private developers who would come in and do that. It's just unnecessary. And they've not shown a history. The Housing Authority has not got a great track record with their tenants or the landlords or anybody else. If they were doing their job, the units that they say are in terrible shape wouldn't be in terrible shape. If they were monitoring and doing the things they're supposed to do, we wouldn't have our people who need a lot of assistance wouldn't be in this shape. If we want to spend money on public housing, let's fix up what we have for our elderly and our disabled and the folks who really need our help. We have 2 public housing units for those folks that are Gulf Breeze and Holland House. And those are supposedly for people with independent living. They don't even have a maintenance person on duty 24/7. So if one of these elderly people cannot get out of their apartment, gets locked in for some reason, there's nobody there to take care of them. I went recently to visit with these places and just to see what they were like. And I said, what do they do if there's a medical emergency? Who lets in they said, well, they have to call 911. I said, who opens the door downstairs? Is there someone on call? No. They have these people called curators who may or may not know what's going on. And so why wouldn't you make that a place that we could be proud of?
Fix what we've got.
Fix what we've got, you know. And when their track record gets better and they prove that they are helping the people who need their help, then you get faith in it, and they say that there's a need here. You go, okay, great. But when they have no track record of that, and they've had over 100 employees until recently on the payroll, who knows what they've been doing? But they certainly haven't been taking care of people who are in Section 8 housing or other housing that needs to be improved. They've let them go down. They haven't monitored. They call before they do an inspection. I mean, and people who rented the house aren't even living there anymore. It's other people. I mean, that's not doing their job.
Can I just get the spelling of your name too?
Yeah, Fredell, F-R-E-D-E-L-L.
F-R-E-D-E-L-L.
Rosen, R-O-S-E. It's possible that my husband might not be excited that I talked. That's okay.
Here's my card with my cell phone number on
Okay,
it.
no, that's all right. No, I'm just, it is not a racial issue. I mean, in my mind, it's not a racial issue. It might be in somebody's. No.
Okay.
You film me, and I'm gonna. Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're putting the camera aside.
Yes,
To
my
be on
turn.
camera.
My turn. Yes. I'm David Stanowski.
Can you just spell your name for me?
STANOWSKI. I'm the president of the Galveston Open Government Project. GOGP for short. We have a website with about 300 documents on it about this issue. We are sponsoring a lawsuit against this plan because it's going to violate the Fair Housing Act. The demographics of the city are terrible. The worst demographics in the county, some of the worst in the region. And they want to rebuild on the 3 former project sites, which are the worst demographics in the city. The Fair Housing Act says you cannot concentrate poverty, you cannot concentrate people by race and ethnicity. And they want to build these census tracts with high concentrations of poverty and high concentrations of minorities. Their excuse for doing this is that they're going to use fixed income. You can do the mathematics, but if you middle-class people in fixed income development census tract, assuming middle-class people live there, it doesn't change the demographics of that census tract more than a couple of percent. It doesn't make it acceptable. That's what HUD calls impacted census tracts.
What is your solution?
Our solution is very simple. You give them 529 vouchers, you let them live anywhere they want, county, region, whatever. You help them. One of the other gentlemen, I think it was Bill Kuroga, mentioned the Moving to Opportunity program, which they feign ignorance of, but it's a HUD program that gives them special counseling to help them find homes in areas in better census tracts in better cities. We've got all the demographic data for the whole county and rank it from high to low, which is the way you're supposed to do it. Galveston has some of the worst demographics in the county. I mean, Texas City's kind of marginal, so are Lamarck. So Texas City, Lamarck, and Galveston are the 7 counties, there are 7 cities in the county, are the worst demographics. So you give people vouchers, you give them the counseling and aid to help them find, if they choose, homes that they can rent in those better cities and the better census tracts. If they insist on building, the solution is simple. You do it on a regional basis. You do it throughout the county or multi-county. You rank, you do the demographic work. This is exactly what they did in Thompson v. HUD and many other lawsuits.
So you're an attorney?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
We're sponsoring a law. We have an attorney right down the street
Okay.
who's handling this case for us. that we did all the research to figure out what the proper solution was. Thompson v. HUD, Walker v. HUD, number of cases. You score demographics of the census tracts, which are neighborhoods, and you put, if you're going to build, you put them in the better upper tier to give them an opportunity to get out of poverty.
David, you came here today for a press conference. You're surprised when you got here, perhaps. There is no press conference. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we obviously were shocked because we were told that they were going to have some big news about their plan. We didn't, since we know they want to build everything in this city, they want to build it in the 3 worst census tracts. We didn't expect anything good, but we wanted to find out what it was. So we're very surprised that they did this, and obviously they scheduled this hoping that it was going to influence the election on Saturday, that they were going to have some good news that was going to help them. Apparently they don't.
I got a question.
Yes, sir. What's your-
No, I've got
David, this gentleman has a question.
Oh, for me?
Okay. If you think that people in public housing are very served by putting them in the county, why aren't you taking them right to them? Just recently, there was a vote on funding transportation for the handicapped and disabled. They decided to sit on it. Last couple of weeks ago, they said that they didn't want to vote on it because they want Galveston to become a capital city. So it's clear to me that those people there don't want it. You got people here who've been displaced from their home. They've lived here for years. They have a sense of community here. They want to come back to decent, clean, affordable housing, and you're telling them the best thing for them is to go someplace else and get that behind. I can't understand.
The Housing Authority has done 3 surveys since the hurricane, and all 3 surveys show other residents. Yet we keep hearing this argument they all want to come home. So we're saying they should have a choice. 2/3 of them have already told the Housing Authority they don't want to come back. So we want to offer them vouchers they can use anywhere. And if somebody insists on building, let them build it in the better census tracts throughout the county, which are not here.
Fine, if there's a better census tract willing to, if there's a better census tract willing to accept it,
That's
and
what-
you don't see that.
that's
And
what the court has-
What I can't understand is, why don't you take the fight for them? If you think that these people should do the right thing and build these, provide for them, why aren't you taking the fight for them? Why aren't you trying to convince them they should do it?
Well, we are, because
I haven't seen it. I haven't heard of it. Everything I've heard is here.
we have a lawsuit that will ask the court to select the proper census tracts throughout the county and order them to put it in those areas.
Well, why don't
we can't make GHA put it in the other census tracts since they don't want to.
So why don't you lobby to have them create? Why don't you lobby the county or those communities to create a housing authority to provide for those people?
We tried that. We went to the county in 2009. They didn't want to do it. So we see that there is no political solution. We agree with you. It has to be done in court because
Then take them to court. Don't take the city of Galveston. Don't take the Galveston Housing Authority.
Do you live here?
Yes, I live here. I've lived here my whole life. I've lived here. I own property here. I pay taxes here. I don't have a problem with these people moving back. I don't see them as a pariah that everybody else seems to see them as.
So, can you explain to me why you came here today?
Well, I came here to see the press conference and see what was going on.
Thanks.
You're in favor of this plan?
I'm in favor of anything that provides decent, affordable housing for those people who not only have been displaced by Hurricane Ida, but thousands of others who are living in substandard housing on this island.
Where do you live?
I live in the university area.
Are you in public housing?
No, I'm a homeowner.
You're a homeowner.
I'm in public housing.
Do you have friends who are in public housing who are displaced?
I am.
You're one of those people. Tell me your name, sir.
Tucker Turner. That's
Hi, my name is Rosa Jackson. I come to every meeting you have. I am displaced because after the iPad came, they gave us a voucher. We couldn't stay in most of the houses $2 per hour voucher, so we had to move further. So what I did, I had to move to Pitchback, and then my voucher turned over GHA, you can get a bedroom, like a 1 bedroom is $682. Down here, a bedroom is $9 for a 1 bedroom down here. These people can't afford it, so what they do, they move on. They get vouchers. They gave them vouchers so they can move on. But these people say they want to come back home, and I don't understand why it's hard for people not to understand. They do want to come back home.
I think one of the things that we were talking about earlier is that why doesn't the city some of the houses that are already instead of creating new projects? What do you think about that?
Because we want to live, you know, it's just not we want something that, just to come back here and say we want it new. We want somewhere nice. We want to come back to live in and make nice things happen for us too. Just not for, I'm not trying to pick on rich people, poor people, because I'm a middle class person too. My mother and daddy worked all their life. They did us anything. My mom and them got property too. But I chose to come back and help other people because I used to stay in the projects. I used to stay in City Terrace. I made it. I'm not bad. I'm not a crime. And most of these people that really worked here, they not crime. They want to come back and live in something nice too.
Would you, okay, well, what do you say?
I can answer for that. I think I can answer that question about the existing. Is that even if you, I think it would be probably cost prohibitive to retrofit some of these houses to meet people with special needs, such as the disabled. You've got a lot of old houses that probably would probably not conform with the American with Disability Act as far as access, as far as door width, access to restrooms and such.
Even if they were refurbished to meet those needs?
In some cases, the cost of building new would probably be more cost effective than trying to refurbish it. I'm not against the total refurbishment, but it's not going to meet everybody's needs, especially people who have large families and people who are disabled or elderly.
Let me just ask you, can you just explain, for people who don't live out here, why do you want to come back?
Because this is where I was born at, and this is where I love the beach. I love everything in Galveston they have for us. And I was just born here, and I love it here, and I would do anything to come back.
How long have you, so I guess you've lived in Beach House for about 2 years?
2 years.
And so one more time, would you, let's say that they refurbished the housing that's already in existence here, would you mind moving back to one of those?
Yes, I do.
You would mind. Why?
Because I think I'm from the projects, and I think if they build something that's nice for us, I would love to do that. I mean, this is something we never had, and when they started building one in 08, Ms. Graham was here, and she started working on developments and stuff. I became president of Cedar Terrace, the youngest one here, and I wanted to motivate young women and young ladies. This is how you live, and you know, I just want to come back and show them we don't have to be called low housing. You can live in a house, a mansion. It don't mean that, you know, people are here to say you live bad. I live in a high-priced house on Section 8. People didn't believe it was Section 8, but I lived there, but I made it a home. You know, people want to come back as a home, make it at a home, a place, environment so they can stay and be happy. Yeah, I have 3 and they're all grown. And I raised them in a project. My daughter's a manager of the academy. My son works at VP Plant, and my daughter's going to CNA classes right now. So we all from the project. I raised them right, and it's how you raise your child, how you live.
When you came here, Lynn discovered that the has contribution. Were you disappointed?
Yes, I was very disappointed because I wanted to get out and show them that every project person stays in the project. It's not bad. Everybody that comes out here, they want to change of atmosphere. Just like I took a lot of houses from people, but you started over, y'all rebuild, and you live in nice homes. This is what everybody wants to come back to. Something nice. Just like they took houses out there on 61st, 81st, they got tore down, messed up. They want to come back to those houses too, just like over here. It's no different.
Just tell me your name one more time.
My name is Rosalind Jackson.
How do you spell it?
ROSALYN Jackson. JCKSON.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Turner.
Thank you. Take over for me there.
Oh, that's really good for you.
Uh-huh.
There's
spending $255,000 per apartment.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
200.
I thought
yeah,
it was
think
235,
Someone said that in there. Yeah.
235,000 per apartment.
Per apartment.
You know, I could build an apartment complex for 200. I could build 4 units at least. I could build a whole lot of stuff for 200.
And is that,
I could go to Dickinson and buy homes that are 3-bedroom swimming pools for $250,000.
Well, is there? Do you guys know the reasoning for that? I mean, is it because they're?
It's because the mayor wants to give money to McCormick Baron Salazar, who the vice president at Vice President McCormick Baron Salazar has been appointed to HUD. And she's giving them money, is what it's all about. If you want to know the truth, it's just more insider trading.
Because of some sort of, fanciness in the apartments or something.
Well, they all have granite countertops and stainless steel appliances. I don't have granite countertops and stainless steel appliances.
Public housing.
Yeah. Most people I know don't have that.
If you have a huge inventory of vacancies, the Housing Authority has the money to repair, refurbish, and do those kind of things to increase the housing stock and make it right for the people. I thought that lady who spoke was eloquent. I would welcome her and all of her friends and everybody else to be here. But you don't need to accomplish that with what they're proposing. I think anybody who wants to live here should be able to live here.
Yeah, 2/3 don't.
Yeah, then they should not have to.
You know, right after the Ike happened and they mowed the apartments down, the first thing they did was give them a voucher and say, go live wherever you want. Now, why are they stopping that? Why are they working so hard to take away a person's freedom of choice? I don't understand that.
See, I think too that when you centralize everybody like that, they're trying to get away, and she even said it, from being labeled. But you're putting a big PH on her head when you stick them in this area, and they know it's public housing. Other than management and yourself, when you're dealing with vouchers, y'all are the only ones to know that you're getting a reduced rate. So, they want everybody else to compromise, but I don't see no compromise coming from public housing. And she even stated here that she wouldn't be willing to move into a house that's been renovated. I've seen some beautiful houses once they're renovated, and probably at a lot less cost than what they're talking about building new ones. And I think helping people is a good thing, but even too much of a good thing can be bad for Gals, and that's why I'm opposed to 569 units in a mixed housing. But I know people need assistance, and it's good, and I think the voucher system gives them that freedom, and you've heard it over and over again, it gives them freedom of choice where they want to live. If job opportunities arise, they can go, or if they want to put their child in a different school district. But there's no room, it seems like, for compromise for public housing. I just find a problem with that. Why? You want everybody else to compromise, but you're not willing to do it.
In order to get people to move back to Galveston, the school district has to improve its ratings. And so that doesn't happen overnight. And the HUD says you don't put kids in areas where the school district is already flooded with kids who don't have opportunities. They can't absorb. And so you have a school district that is at 60%?
66% economically disadvantaged, worst in the county.
Why would you do that to your child? I mean, I don't understand it. Anyhow, though, I appreciate your sticking around.
But if you want to advance, you're actually holding them back by doing that. You're doing the reverse of what you're actually saying you want to do and help them. And I think when you open the door of opportunity for the individuals and families and stuff, that's where they're going to get ahead in life, not by being placed and locked down in one area. And
if they want to start helping, you should go look at Gulf Breeze.
I've been to one. Is Gulf Breeze the one that's like a high rise that has like $1 million view?
Yeah. It has $1 million view and looks like a tenement.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. So wouldn't you want that to be fixed? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you were in the country.
What do you don't get about this?
Gulf Breeze was one, and what was the
Holland House? It's right on 61st Street. And they have I asked to see their outdoor area. Oh my God. Oh, if you go over there, ask to see it.
But see, I get tired of hearing them say that we don't want the people to come back, and that's not true. I want them to come back. We just have different opinions on how we want to bring them back. And they want to put public housing in, which saying vouchers. It gives them a little more freedom. But like I said, there's no bidding here, and that's what I find.
Is Mike that they just don't get it because there's just this block. It's am I missing here? You know, I can't be that stupid that I.
Well,
don't
Professor
get it.
Robert Ellickson put his finger on it when he said he studied mixed income, which is what they want to do, and it is very popular with developers and politicians because it allows politicians to leverage their ability to dictate where they're going to go for campaign contributions.
McCormick Salazar, we asked for their data on some of their projects. Within 7 years, and they started out with only 25% public housing. They were 70% public housing, so they had turned into a project. And they've never done them in a city like Galveston. You know, somebody said, well, you should see what's going on in Atlanta. And you go, Atlanta, Galveston. Let's figure out the similarities.
Two different animals. Two different animals.
Anyhow, I won't keep you, but
No,
thanks
thank,
so much.
Thank you all very much. And you have my card, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll see you at the next,
Trust me, I know.
The next press conference?
Stats, it's all this.
Okay.
As long as they don't
It's
cancel.
unbelievable.
Take care.
Bye, David. Okay, call ahead.
Okay, what street was that?
Mike, what tree is Stripping?
Oh.
37th and O?
Oh, it's on O, and I think it's 39.